Hello, this is Rachel with Mic Drop Miniatures, and today I am going to show you how to make these miniature bird feeders. So in our community, we have a challenge for June on how to make these. So I thought I would show everyone how simple it is to make these too. So the materials that you're going to need to make this are just your basic tools to cut wire and some scissors, some bead findings, or I here have some inexpensive buttons that I'm going to use for the base, and then some jewelry findings. There's so many out there, so whatever you just have on hand will probably work. So I'm going to use this one. This is a cap for a bead. So then you're going to need some super glue. We're going to need some clear straws that I took from just a fast food restaurant, some basic wire, and then for the actual seeds for your bird feeder, this one you can see I have a mixture of poppy seeds and then a mixture, this is actually pet bedding for small animals that you can just get at any hardware store or pet store. And this one I used just the poppy seeds. And then if you want to get some color, I recently came across this at a local craft store. And what it is just these little beads, and you could pull them off the vine and get yourself some berries into your birdseed. So maybe we'll use that today in this one. So I'm just going to pull some off and we'll just set it here. All right, so let's get started. For this one, let's pick a bead. I am going, a button. There's all different decorative buttons that will work, pretty much anything. I think I like this black and white one, so we'll use that one. So first thing, we're gonna just cut some wire. So in this challenge, simple, all you have to do is create a bird, something for the birds, whether it's a bath, a feeder, a house, and then you post it to the Facebook group, and then every month I pick a winner, a random winner, and then I send them some free goodies in the mail, miniatures of course. So there's our base, and I just put the wire through it. Now if you want, you can twist the end. It's not really needed, but then you know it won't move on you. So I'm just gonna go ahead and twist it a little. Okay, make my wire straight. So every month the challenges are different. Last month, because it was my birthday month, we made miniature cakes. That was fun. And then it's really fun because people share how they make things. So you get to learn a lot of new techniques, get to meet a lot of cool mini friends. So all around, it's just a fun time. So I'm gonna put this and put the straw around the wire and see how high we want our bird feeder to be. So we'll say, I'm gonna make kind of a short one this time. I feel like I always make really long ones. So we'll make this guy shorter. What's nice about this is there's so many different types of birdhouses or bird feeders. So your imagination can really run wild on this project. All right, so this is where the super glue comes in handy. You can, if you don't have super glue, or if you hate it, like me, I have a love-hate relationship with super glue. I feel like it gets on my finger, on my skin, and then I can never get it off. But so what I'm gonna do is find the center and then put some glue. So yeah, you can use, tacky glue, anything you have, but you are probably going to be holding it for a while until the glue dries. So what you can do on the bottom too, so your seeds don't fall, this is a good place to maybe put some tacky glue in there and let it dry. Or you could put tape on the other side, however you want, just so your beads or your seed doesn't fall through. Okay, so I'm just going to hold this in place for a little bit longer. And all right, I'll just set this here to dry. Don't want to tip it over. I think it's holding in place okay. Maybe set it up against this. Okay, while that dries, let's get our seeds in place. So I don't want too many red. I'm just gonna pretend like there's a little, I don't know, berries in my seed. So this is a challenge that my daughter came up with because we love watching the birds. We have a bird feeder right outside of our house, living room window, and it's fun to see all the little birds come and eat. So she was like, Mom, why not a challenge for the birds? And I was like, perfect. So I should have probably prepped this ahead of time, but I wasn't really planning to add the red. But now I kind of like it. So I think what I'll do is just add and kind of see that mixture, red and black. I can't decide. You know what? I changed my mind again. I'm going to add just a little bit of this to my mixture. Okay, now that I have the bird seed the way I want it, my thing is glued into place. Okay, now when you know that your piece is dry, I'm going to grab another container and we are just going to start filling our bird feeder. I don't know why I can't talk tonight. I find that pouring it in, it's kind of more messy, but you are going to get it in faster. A big clump there. So yeah, it's fun to look around the house and think like, that would make good bird seed. There's so many things like caraway seeds you could use. I'm really curious to see what you come up with in the challenge. So how you can join is we are on Facebook and it's a group, and if you search the mini district community, it will pop up. And I'll also leave a link in the show notes and you can join. And like I said, every month we have a different challenge. It's really fun. So I hope that you will join us. Now, as you can see, my bird feeder isn't full. However, I kind of like it that way. I feel if it's too full, it just doesn't look realistic, because really what bird feeder is always full. I feel like whenever I fill it, it's empty right away again. So I'm going to keep mine a little empty, just not on the full side. So I like how the berries, you can just barely see some of them. Gives it just a little hint of red here and there. I kind of like that. All right. There's just a little too many clumps of red right there, which I know, I think I may be getting a little too picky. All right, so here we go, looking good. Now for the top. The top you can use like this bead I have here for the top. You can use another button like I did here. I've seen people use earring holders, you know, with the big plastic back. That also works. I think for this one, I'm going to use this bead cover. So we're just going to slide that on. Yeah, that looks cute. Okay, the trick here is you want to make sure it's centered. Centered before you glue it. All right, so here comes the fun part. I like to make sure I take my pliers and I push down just so I make sure that it's really, really tight. Okay, so now that I know it's tight, I know that it's centered, I'm going to grab my glue again and carefully glue it into place. This is a pretty small back. There's not too many places to glue. Flip it over. All right, so we're gonna let that dry for a second. We'll give it like the 10-second rule. It's looking really good. Okay, when I think it's dry, let's test it here. Feels pretty dry, as long as I be pretty careful. What we can do now is you take your needle nose pliers and we're just going to bend the ends, so like a 90-degree angle. Okay, then we're going to take our needle nose pliers and right where that bend starts, like right where it, starts, so like right there, grab it and twist it around. So what we're doing here is just making a loop. Okay, if you've ever made jewelry, you know what I'm talking about. And then finish off the other loop. There we go. There's our loop. Now to close it off, we can just hold these in place and twist. I'm just going to twist this by hand. Twist the other one the other way. And then we can cut them off. There's a lot of different ways to do the top. This is just one that I like. My thing got a little bent here. Gotta get them together. There we go. So I want a little more of a fancy top. Also what you could do is grab like a little chain, like a keychain chain, if you know what I'm talking about. They're like little round balls. And you could hang that from your porch, your dollhouse porch, or wherever you're going to hang this. Sorry, I'm just trying to make this look a little more decorative. All right, just make sure that my loops are together. So there we have it. There's our top. And again, I want it to be perfect, but for the sake of this video, I don't want to bore you. So we'll stop there. But this is what the finished one looked like that I made before. And then what you could do, is just hang something and then hang it from your porch of your dollhouse or miniature scene. So there you have it. I hope you liked this project. And please, I'll see you in the Facebook group. All right, thanks.